What's going on, guys? How are we doing today? I haven't done a video like this in a little while, so I am trying to make this as normal as possible. A lot of my videos lately have been either GAC recaps or streams, but I still want to do a GAC video talking about some different teams I feel like have been very, very good and strong lately. I'll do some more Conquest videos later on this week or next week, but, excuse me, I definitely want to cover some GAC for today. So, first things first, let's go talk about GL Ray. I'm going to be a bit all over the place here in today's video. I want to kind of show and maybe explain as to certain team comps or just teams in general that actually have been performing very, very well, or maybe even stop some certain teams' encounters from either getting full banners or complete shutdowns on defense, more in terms of GL. So, first things first is Ray. Where the hell is Ray? I don't even know. I think she's down here. Ray. All right. So, Ray is, outside of Lord Vader, probably the number 2 defensive team in the game. Hands down. It's not just because, you know, it's actually a big thing for me to say, like beating Master Kenobi. But, you know, if you think about it, guys, in GAC setting, this is a very top-tier defensive team. The reason being is because it can shut down, if you have the right comp, the right mods, the right relics, it can shut down some of those Emperors and shut down some of those Master Lukes. And that is a huge thing in GAC. So, starting off with Ray, there's a lot of different comps out there. There's the Bros with JTR. That's a pretty strong one right now. Getting some of that JTR's healing immunity off. And then the Bros Mass Assist, very strong. And there's also some Ray Commander Ahsokas. Those ones are still pretty strong for the most part. You got to keep in mind that Ray is unaligned Force user, and Commander Ahsoka does give out some of those bonuses. That's still a thing. Her own path. So, you know, more health and defense is very good, very strong. But not that necessary. You know, I'm not going to be out here preaching about Ray and Commander Ahsoka is the best defensive team in the game. It's not really. I can go off about Lord Vader, okay? I don't care if Arnold says he's like the worst defensive team in the game. I hands down, I firmly believe Lord Vader is the best defense team in the game, and I'll go into that later, okay? But for now, Ray Commander Ahsoka is very good. I don't know right now, in terms of me playing this whole season of GAC thus far, that she with Ray is, I said that way weird. Ray with Cat is actually the best team comp for a Ray. It's strong. I don't know if it's the best. So, what I think is one of the better teams is, you know, it's going to be with Ray Cat, but tossing in our little buddy R2-D2 here. So, R2 is going to be another guy I'm going to remod here for GAC in the future seasons to come because of his number crunch, Zeta unique. Not the combat analysis one, but this number crunch. So this is the one that shares stats. So with resistance allies, you know, it says here that he gets a bit more potency. Not the biggest thing, but what does make a bit of a difference is the more Galactic Republic allies you have. So 10% offense for each of those allies. And that's not each other. That's including R2. So, one way to go about a Ray is having a Ray with Commander Ahsoka, with R2, and then what I kind of like personally right now is a Padme with a GK. You don't have to use GK. You can even actually use an L3 or a pre-taunt. I firmly believe in a pre-taunt with a Ray. Or a taunt of some sort, right? So, I love that team comp. You can even actually maybe even go without a taunt and just use R2 because R2 will eventually smokescreen up, right? So you can do that too. Maybe even toss in a Barris. The more GR allies that are here, the more offense you get, and the more offense you can give to Ray. So imagine this. You know, I don't know the whole math here, and I'm not going to do it, but just put into perspective, my Ray is not even close to where it should be in terms of offense, health, and speed. I should really slow her down, but I haven't yet. But a Relic 8 Ray should be around 12,000 offense. So 12,000 offense, health could be, you know, close to 200k or not, maybe around there. And then you keep in mind the Rey with Commander Ahsoka giving out 50% extra health and defense to Rey. And then you keep in mind R2 sharing all those other bonuses with Rey, including the offense. So in terms of an Eternal Emperor, that's Relic 8. I'm not going to go into Relic 9 because there's not many people out there who have Relic 9 Emperor, but a Relic 8 Emperor will have a hard time killing that team. Whether he has Beskar or not, you could definitely... You're either going into that battle winning, barely, like lowest banner possible ever, or you lose. It's happened to me a lot of times. I've fought in that team. I've seen people fight that team. It's a scary team against, or using the Emperor against. So another team you could use and counter that Rey team could be a Master Luke, but yet again, you are faced with the same issue. The offense from Rey's ultimate. That is a big, big issue. So you can definitely, if you have the right mods, guys, the right mods, the right relics, the right characters in the team, you can stop a few different GLs. And that's a huge thing. You know, back in the day where GLs were able to be countered by other non-GL teams, well, those days have definitely gone, you know, past us, right? But now it's moved more towards GLs, different comps, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's a big thing right now. You can't just be setting the worst Rey team ever with like Stick Rey and Holdo and the bros. It's not going to be good anymore. You got to really, you know, pull apart some of those different key components. And that's one of them. That Rey team right there, I think, is number 2. Number 2 best defensive team in the game. That's just me. All right, next up is going to be Lord Vader. I'm going to go talk about GLs first, then maybe go talk a little bit about other teams that are not GLs. But Lord Vader, guys, holy cow. This guy is crazy. I have so far, lost 4 rounds of GAC. 2 of which to Treya, and 2 of which to Lord Vader. So, if you guys want to get a spoiler alert, Treya is in this video. But Lord Vader is now the discussion of topic. So, is that how you say it? I don't know. He's now the one we're talking about. Lord Vader is top tier. He is ridiculous. I know Relic 9 is hard to get for most people out there, but if you have a Relic 9 Lord Vader, not Master Luke, you have him modded for offense and some health. Neglecting speed is okay here, actually. If you have that modded like that, that can stop nearly 90% of Master Luke counters, even if the guy's Master Luke is Relic 9. I've seen it happen time and time again. A Relic 9 Lord Vader with offense mods, having offense through the roof, that is some serious things, right? That's some serious damage. AoEs hitting a 50, 60, 70k crits on the first use of an ultimate. It's insane, guys. And if you usually are, you know, your typical fight with Lord Vader is maybe 1, potentially 2 ultimates. I've fought some very strong opponents my last 2 weeks of GAC, guys. Some guys from like the top end guilds, and seeing my rather own allies and guildmates use it too. I mean, this is a legit team, guys. Relic 9 Lord Vader, I wouldn't say Relic 8 is like, holy cow, it's that good. I would still honestly remod Lord Vader for offense and health for GAC setting for sure. And defense, heck yeah. Because if you think about it, giving more offense to your Lord Vader early on in the battle instead of waiting for it to stack up with mastery later on using a speed set, it is so important, so valuable having offense on him. I mean, even a crit damage set too is pretty awesome. It's pretty bonkers, guys. So it stops in that particular instance. It stops the Master Luke counter, which is a pretty well-known one for the most part. But another one that's still up there, I don't know if this would stop it at all, but is that First Order SLKR with the Night Sisters and Watt. So I don't know if that one would still work or not. I've done no amounts of testing against Relic 9 offense modded Lord Vader, even a Relic 8 offense modded Lord Vader. But what I do know is that if he's doing that damage on his first ultimate, then he's going to be doing that damage, same thing, first ultimate against that same team, the Night Sister with Kylo. So that one, I gotta say, just pure, not even going into the other team, the other parts of the team, the other allies for Lord Vader. That right there with Lord Vader is why he is definitely the best GL for defense in the game right now. I mean, easily hands down. I don't care what you want to say. He is ridiculous. But the other parts to a Lord Vader comp that I would recommend is definitely Maul. Maul is a staple in Lord Vader's team right now in GAC and even TW. Having Maul be there for giving out more of the ultimate charge early on is a must. So definitely want to have Maul there. Another one is Royal Guard, of course. So you got those three, but then we're going to go and talk about the other two. So other two could be a lot of different ones. Moff Gideon's a pretty big one right now for some of that demoralized. And the TM and all that sort of stuff. It's pretty good. I'm not going to say it's like my favorite or the best one per se, but it's pretty good. I like Stormtrooper a lot. I would say Piet, but Piet is needed in GAC for the troopers. And I want to say Darth Vader, but I got to say Darth Vader is definitely amazing with EP and Mara Jade right now. So you're talking about Lord Vader with Royal Guard and Maul. And then the fourth could be Moff with Storm, or it could be what I like, actually my favorite one right now is Lord Vader with Maul and then Royal Guard. And then crew right here, Kylo Ren masked. And then using Stormtrooper that we just were looking at. So triple taunt, crew, Storm, Royal Guard, Maul, and then Lord Vader. So that one can be countered by the troopers if you have a Shock T that's like 370, 360 speed. But like honestly, guys, I'm going to be honest here with you. You're not going to be fighting many people that are going to be having a 370 speed Shock T in GAC. I have fought, out of the 9-10 opponents now, one person that has had that modded properly. And that one person lost to my Lord Vader, not even modded to stop that counter. So, like, that counter, I would actually love for people to try that against my team, even if they had a faster shock. But if you're like, seeing that Shock T is way fast in a lot of different opponents, then just toss in Moff Gideon, toss in Darth Vader. It's going to shut it down easily. You know, easy peasy. You can do that. Right now, I love Triple Taunt with Maul and Lord Vader. It's mainly just about Maul, the Royal Guard, and then the Lord Vader being Lord Vader. Offense mods on him are phenomenal. Offense, guys, right now in the game is the best thing to farm for mods. It is hands down the most important thing. That's it for Lord Vader. The next couple I'll go after is gonna be it's gonna be two different teams, one for offense and one for defense. So I could go off on a lot more different ones right now, but I'm just gonna keep it low key for the rest of the video because I've been talking a lot. Next up is Treya. Treya defensively is a beast. If you guys still have Treya rocking and rolling, and you don't use her that much for offense, set her on defense, please and thank you. It's gonna get you either many banners dropped for your team, or rather the person attacking you, or a hold. Never have I ever in history of GAC seen somebody get like full banners against a Treya. At least my Treya that I've set, and it's not even the best one. Counters to Treya right now. Treya being the leadership, Scion, Nihilus. You can toss in a Maul, you can toss in a Sith Trooper, you can toss in literally any Sith you want for the 4th and the 5th slot. But the counter to that team is very slim outside of a GL. JKR, yeah, JKR struggles. JKL lead struggles. I have lost with both of those. Troopers with Moff Gideon, the whole team, that works. And then also or lead bounty hunters works as well. And then I think the other one I've seen and I've tested out is Bad Batch. But those three are like, they work pretty well, but those are some big teams and counters, because if you think about it, I, for one, need troopers for either a back wall Darth Revan or maybe like a very tough team in the back wall that I have to use them against. And same thing for bounty hunters. With Aura being another leadership out there for me to use, I would love to have her for some of those back wall teams. So a front wall Treya is very valuable right now because it can pull some of those very annoying counters and teams that you want to pull in a front wall. So that's a pretty big team right now, is Treya. You can go look in the SWGoH history of counters for that team. But I can almost guarantee you the most you'll see is either a Darth Revan or a GAC. And personally, I love those two teams for defense. Those teams are great. I get a lot of use out of those teams for defense, and I'm always going to keep them up for defense. I don't like those teams for offense too much, but you can still use those 2 counters for Treya if you want. And if you do fight me and use Gas or Darth Revan against my Treya, I will take that as a fat old win in my books. That's a big pull. Anyways, next up is an offensive team. This one I want to go after in a different video and showcase it some more, but this team is a little bit more cheaper, I guess. it's with Beskar Mando. It's a similar team that we've always seen, right? Killing Grievuses, killing whatever you want, having the right turn order, right? The other team you're probably used to is BAM with Queel, IG-11, Dengar, and Nest, I think. I think that's the team people are usually the ones using, right? But this other team is with Dash Rendar now. And it's the same leadership, Beskar Mando with Queel, and then with Dash, and then going to be with, actually, coming down here to Stormtrooper Han, and then up here to Dengar. So the whole premise of this team is pretty similar, right? Having a fast Queel to go first, giving out TM to your Beskar Mando. He uses his Whistling Birds, and then you get all that TM from his leadership, 2% TM every time you hit somebody. After that, you have Dash going, Dash using his AoE Seeker Missiles, inflicting a lot of different hits 3 times to all enemies. And then you have the next person going up is Dengar, more bombs, right? At that point in the battle, you're going to have full TM back on Beskar Mando before the enemy even moves. And this is pretty dependent on your Queel speed, and then also matching the Dash to whatever the Queel speed is. I go over this in a different video, but just pretty much the premise of this team is for offense. I would never use this on defense. Offense, though, it is phenomenal at killing Grievuses with pretty much any comp out there besides BB-8 teams. BB-8 makes them, faster, and then just kind of shuts it down for this counter. But if you fought somebody like with a Watt, with an IG-88, maybe even a Newt team, this stomps it, and they never get a turn. So it's a great team, and if you even don't see a Grievous, but you want to still use this team, you can definitely still use it, just as long as you are fighting the right teams. Teams that aren't going to shut this down, teams that allow you to get TM, and you got to make sure you outspeed with your Queel. So right now my Queel is at 337, and I can kill pretty much any team that is below that. For the most part, not going to kill all teams, right? But can kill most teams. There's no bonus here with the leadership in terms of speed, but you do get that TM whenever you hit somebody, which is huge. So it's a great team for offense. I wouldn't say it's like the best team, but I would say it's a very nice back pocket counter in GAC to relieve the stress of other important counters, which is like a Bad Batch, which is like an EP Mara J, Darth Vader, Troopers, Bounty Hunters, stuff like that. And it allows you to save those teams for different counters and getting higher banner wins. And I think that's a pretty big thing about this team, is why I like it so much. It's a great one. Not sure if many people know about it, but yeah, it's using Stormtrooper Han, Dengar, Queel, BAM, and Dash. You can have lower gear, but it's good. Anyways, guys, that's it for today's video, talking about 2 different GLs and 2 different offense and defenses. I could go over some more if you guys want me to, but for now, I'm going to stop it right here. It's been a long video so far, and I don't want to bore you to death. But that's it. Thanks, guys, for watching. If you guys have any comments or questions down below about this, let me know. Have a good one out there, guys. And until next time, I will see you later. Peace out, and have a good one. Bye, guys.